Okay, hello and welcome everyone to our Tuesday lesson. And I'm so glad to see people are tuning in, people are joining us. But like every lesson, what we do before we begin is we acknowledge and pay respect to the past, present, and future traditional custodians and elders of this nation, and the continuation of cultural, spiritual, and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. And oops, the sharing is gone. I'll just do it again. Okay, let's see. Okay. Now, today's agenda, may I request one of you raise your hand, please, if you're interested to read today's agenda. What are we going to? Suraya Sultani, thank you for being the first person to raise hand. Do you mind reading the first question we have in our agenda? This is something we are going to discuss.
You will, while your brain nurture empathy and reduce fear
Teacher, I
and
can read.
anxiety. Neuroscience informs self-care. Empathy stories, students' presentations.
Thank you so much. So, our agenda today is firstly, we are going to talk about a question. We will be addressing this question. Can you rewire your brain to nurture empathy and reduce fear and anxiety? Quite a few difficult questions here, words here, the vocabulary. We are discussing this for a while. What is empathy? You have discussed the definition of empathy. Then, of course, we know what fear is, what anxiety is. So, we are going to discuss this in a minute. Beside this, we are going to look at the neuroscience informed self care, how you can look after yourself, how you can rewire your brain. Okay, what practice will help you make you a stronger person. Also, we have some of the students are waiting to present their empathy stories and their presentations. We are going to have that as well. Now, the first question I'm going to ask Ms. Nazari to translate. This is a question, it's not a statement. There is a mistake. I forgot to put the question mark at the end of this question. Never mind. I would like Ms. Nazari to read the question for everyone, please, and then translate in Dari so that everyone understands what it says. Thank you, Ms. Nazari. Over to you.
Yes, because he knows anxiety and fear may lower down the quality of your life.
I'm afraid we can't hear you. Louder, please.
I think they're having issues with network.
Yeah. So the other thing we can do is who can translate in Dari and put it in the chat so that everyone understands what we are talking about.
Nazari has translated in Dari in the chat.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. Yes, that's exactly. Ms. Nazari has put it in the chat. Who's going to read it for us? And if you can read it, Ms. Nazari, or if your microphone isn't working, I invite someone to read the Dari version of it. What does it say? Can you
Uh,
rewire?
oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
hello everyone. So this questions means in Persian or Dari that means آیا میتوان مغز خود را دوباره سیمکشی کرد تا همدلی را پرورش داده و ترس و اضطراب را کاهش بدیم. It means how we can reduce the stress in our minds.
Yes, that is one part of the question. I totally agree, you're correct, but it is the part of this question has two parts in it. One part says, can you rewire your brain? Your brain has lots of neurons and lots of connections with each other, like wired. It's like a wired thing in your brain. The wiring, can you change the wiring in your brain? That is the first section of the question. And if you can rewire your brain, the second part of the question is you can nurture empathy and you can reduce, like, if you have fear and anxiety. Trust me, Miss Paramita is always suffering from fear and anxiety. Now, if you do certain things, what will happen is you will reduce you'll make it lower, make it lesser. Your anxiety will be lesser. So, two sections. Now, what will be your answer? What do you think the answer is? Can you? Is it possible to rewire your brain? That is one part of the question. The second part is, if you do that, if you rewire your brain, what's going to happen? You will nurture empathy and you will reduce fear and anxiety. I can see lots of yeses coming up in the chat, which is very important to understand. Yes, Humaira Nazari has said, yes, you can rewire your brain to nurture empathy and reduce fear and anxiety. This process is called neuroplasticity. You have read it. I'm so proud of you. The brain ability to change, adapt based on experience and practice. Techniques like mindfulness, meditation. Oh, fantastic! You have read the PowerPoint. I'm so proud. So my first question was, is it possible? And everyone said, yes, it is possible. So people, it is important that you understand, no matter what crisis, what stressful situation you're in, you can rewire your brain and make you a stronger person, make you understand the empathy, and you can make yourself practice empathy, and then also you can reduce your fear and anxiety. It is possible. Let's see how it is possible. So Kubra also writing that about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is something that we have, some people are already writing about it. That's fantastic. Okay. Please volunteer. I want someone who will read this neuroplasticity slide. I'm looking for Sultana Atai. Yes, read the neuroplasticity slide, please.
Yes, I guess so.
Yes,
Neuroplasticity.
you can
Yes,
rewire your
you
brain
can.
to learn empathy, reduce fear and anxiety. This process is known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to recognize itself by forming new neural connections.
That's right. Thank you so much. You read so beautifully. Miss Imandi, if you please mute people who's talking while someone is reading, if you please mute, I would appreciate that very much. Thank you. Girls, if you're not contributing, if you're not reading, do you mind just keeping your microphone off, please? I will really appreciate that. Okay, now here, what we are doing, we are talking about neuroplasticity. As we talked about that in our brain, we have neural connections, okay? Lots of connections, lots of neural connections. But the brain is also capable of making new neural connections, okay? Say, today I was very upset. I got a message that made me cry. All afternoon I cried. But then I said, no, I'm not going to give in to this. I'm going to be stronger. How am I going to do? How am I going to become stronger? There are certain things in our life, okay, we cannot change. It's beyond our control, okay? So I have no control over this. But what I have control over is my own neural connection. What I have control over is my habits. If I practice good habit, now that will make me stronger, and that will nurture my empathy skills, that will reduce my fear and anxiety. So this is the process that neuroplasticity, it is under my control. What is happening around the world, around my city, town, in the entire world, I have no control over that. But I have control over myself, my brain, and I can reorganize my neural system and construct new neural connections. Okay, so it's a very complex thing. Like neural connection, I want you all to write down in your notebook, and because I would like you to do some research about neural connection, we will be revisiting this neuroplasticity again and again and again, so that you become a stronger person, okay? That is the objective. This team class, we want to give you some tools, and once you start practicing those tools, you will feel stronger. Okay, that's the reason why we are discussing neuroplasticity. And as I said to you many times, and I'm saying it to you again, remember, your teachers are not perfect. We are all learning every single day. Like every human being, we are learning. And sometimes we fail, but we pull ourselves up, and then we say, no, we will work harder, or we will be stronger. Last night, Miss Imandi was with me. We were having a whole night discussion about empathy. There were people from America, there were people from United Kingdom. Miss Imandi joined from Kampala. I joined from Australia, and also there were people from Australia who joined at 1:30 in the morning. So you can imagine how late it was. But everyone was so excited because they wanted to contribute like you do. You girls are fantastic. You girls are examples, you know. We learn, I don't know if we teach anything to you, but we learn plenty from you. Now let's move on. What and how we can reduce our fear and anxiety. Now, intentionally, when we practice certain habits, you strengthen your neural circuits associated with empathy. Okay, I'm going to ask you to read. Don't worry, it's not that I'm reading, but I'll ask you to read in a minute. If you don't have your microphone muted, I request you to do this, that please. Okay, so intentionally practicing certain habits, you strengthen the neural circuits associated with empathy, such as those evolving. You know, we talked about this in a few days ago I don't remember if you we talked about anterior insula. Who is that? Miss Imandi, can we turn off the microphone, please? So what happens is, let's see, I'll invite someone to read this. There are some tricky words in this slide, and a certain slide like neural circuits. Then there is another tricky word is anterior insula, medial prefrontal cortex. These are some tricky words, medial prefrontal cortex. Now, I would like you to practice these words so that next time when you're presenting, you will pronounce these words correctly. Scientific terminologies can be challenging for everyone. You know, it's not that only for you. Like cortisol. We talked about cortisol in our last class, okay? We talked about hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal axis. We talked about amygdala. So there are quite a few words. If you are not familiar with these words, please make a word list. That's what I keep asking you all the time. Make a word list and then find out what it means in your language. Okay? Now I'm going to invite Nigarin to read this slide, please, for us. Nigarin, you're muted.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Neuroplasticity. Intentionally practicing certain habits, you strengthen the neural circuits associated with the empathy, such as those evolving the interior insula, medial prefrontal cortex, and there is one missing one. Is it interior neuron system, ma'am? It's not visible. And
Mirror neuron?
mirror neuron system that is not visible to me, while calming the fear and anxiety circuits such as the amygdala and hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which regulates cortisol.
Okay. So thank you so much. It was such a good reading because the words are quite tricky. But you know what? It's so important to understand what your body, different sections of your brain, those sections do to your fear, anxiety, and well-being. So it is important that we know. And you know, like last time we talked about cortisol, how it contributes when we have cortisol level very high or low, it changes everything. You know, our anxiety, our fear, these things, they change. So what we need to learn here, if you see the drawing at the image down here, this is a picture of a neuron. We are talking about mirror neuron system. And you know what? This research is very new. Now, look around your place where you're sitting. If there is someone next to you, make a big smile. And you know what happens is when you smile at a person, what happens is the person smiles back. So that is shown. It's sort of a activity in your mirror neuron system. You know, when you do something positive, it reflects, just like in a mirror. So we will discuss this even more, the positives of, the actions, the intentional practicing certain habits. So if you start smiling at people, if you do positive things to the people around you, doesn't have to be your classmates all the time. It can be the little kid next door. Maybe the kid is very hungry. Maybe you share a little bit of food with the person. Or maybe you go out of your way to help your mom, your dad. You know, we always encourage our students here to wash their mom or dad's car, you know, and that is sort of giving. If you do a little bit of giving, it doesn't have to be money all the time, you know, it can be a little bit of helping, like Miss Nazari does, and so many of our students do. And they contribute, they participate. That is also a sort of giving. And when you do a little bit of giving, what happens is, you know, it calms your own fear, your anxiety, and then what happens is you feel you become a stronger person because you strengthen your own neural circuits associated with empathy. And that is how we can become a better human being, a stronger human being. It's very, very important. Okay? If you haven't made your list of scientific terminologies, I would encourage you to do so, so that when you're talking or when you're coming to the conference, because you will soon get an invitation to attend the conference, and when people are talking about using these words, you will know, oh, this is what they mean. I understand because in class we studied this about empathy. So I know what they're talking about. So, girls, it's important that you make a list of words, and probably you can take a picture and share with in the class, in our WhatsApp group, that this is what we have done. And that can inspire others. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is something is very important, okay? When you practice, say, I'm very, very stressed. I told you this afternoon I got some very bad news and I cried all afternoon because I was so upset. So here there is a word called intentional. Intentional practicing certain habits. That is, you tell yourself, I'm going to do certain things. That is going to change my mindset or to calm my amygdala. So that is also going to affect your fear and anxiety. And, so one of the strategies is mindful breathing. Now, Miss Imandi is a champion in this. I know she teaches so many people how to do mindful breathing. And when you're stressed, my suggestion to you is get started in mindful breathing. What that does is to calm your parasympathetic nervous system and reduces your cortisol level. Once the cortisol level is reduced, then you will feel peace and calm. So here and now you might be thinking, oh, what Ms. Paramita is talking about, mindful breathing. Okay, this is what it does. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 2, out for 6 counts. Now you do this for 5 to 10 minutes and then you will feel so much better. I'll tell you a story, quick story. One day I was driving my car. I think I was coming home from work, and suddenly there was a huge storm and it was so bad that I couldn't see anything. And I was all by myself, and then I somehow stopped my car to the side of the road, and I started breathing, like slowly, and then I was counting, and then I inhaled, and then took deep breath, and then exhaled. So Miss Amandi can teach us sometime how to do this breathing exercise. But if you do the breathing exercise, trust me, it really helps. And it activates the parasympathetic nervous system and it reduces the cortisol. Okay, so we will do that. This is one strategy. The second, and it is all based on research. It's not that Paramita is just telling you because one fine morning she wakes up and she thinks this is going to help. No, it's all based on research. And this shows that how mindfulness reduces amygdala activity and improves emotional regulation. That day I was so stressed while I was driving because I couldn't see anything. And so I pulled over, I did slow breathing, deep breathing, and then slowly the rain, didn't stop, but at least the visibility improved and I could drive on after a while. But I was feeling much calmer after I did the breathing exercise. So girls, trust me, we don't share anything from, like unless it is researched, well researched, and based on, what the scholars and researchers are saying. So confirmed mindfulness training reduces cortisol levels and anxiety. So this cortisol level is coming again and again and again. It is linked to anxiety. So we have to make conscious choices, intentional, practices, deliberate practices to get our cortisol level down so that anxiety will be, we will have less anxiety. The next one, you can also engage in perspective taking exercises. Sultana, would you like to read this slide, please? Sultana Atai. No? Okay. Sultana, your hand is raised, therefore I called you. That's okay if it's an issue. Who else would like to read? Ms. Mandy, would you like to invite someone? Rana wants to read. That's good. Rana, do you mind just reading?
Rana wants to read.
Rana, do you mind reading, please?
Okay. Engage in perspective taking exercises. Empathy is associated with the medial prefrontal cortex, MPFC, responsible for understanding others' perspectives.
Great, fantastic. Thank you, Rana.
Thank you.
Empathy is associated with the medial prefrontal cortex. Now, the first thing is, it is identifying which part of your brain, is associated with empathy. Now, the second part is, it says this section of your brain is responsible for understanding others' perspectives. So when you engage in perspective taking exercises, like you can participate in a role play, if you participate in a drama, or, like when we do some conflict resolution, we take turns to understand others' perspective. And that is when what happens is we resolve issues, but also we understand the reason why we can resolve conflict, because we understand other person's perspective. Okay, so perspective can be like two girls are having a big fight today in the chat. One girl says, I want to do the next reading. The other girl says, no, you have done plenty reading. It's our turn to read. Now, how are we going to resolve the conflict? Conflict is the argument between the two people. Or maybe in the family, one saying, I do the cooking every day. It's your turn to do the cooking. I'm not doing any cooking today. So there is a conflict again. So when we have situation like this, when we have conflict, how do we resolve it? Now, if both people, they try to understand the other person's perspective, okay, maybe she has some tummy ache. She was complaining this morning. She can't focus on cooking today. She's exhausted. She had very long day yesterday. So the moment you try to understand the other person's perspective, immediately, that is the first step for any conflict resolution. Now, when, say, Nahid and Rana, they're in the same family, they're having an argument, who's going to do the cooking tonight? And then Nahid says, Rana, I understand you are tired because you worked very hard all day today. Let me do your, even though I know it's your turn to do some work, but let me wash the dishes and let me prepare the meal for tonight. The moment Nahid says that to Rana, what happened? Rana says, oh my goodness, she's so kind to me. Okay, how empathetic is her behavior. So I promise you, Nahid, even though I'm very exhausted today, tomorrow it's my turn. I'll do it all. This is the small step to resolve any conflict. And who is doing that? Nahid and Rana. They're engaged in their perspective taking exercises, and they're resolving their conflicts. Okay, it can be family conflict, it can be at work, it can be anywhere. So once we learn to understand other person's perspective, things get better. You will feel better. The situation gets better. Now, role play conflicts. Role play conflicts is at school. We always encourage students to, sometimes they bully, some students, they bully each other. They bully other people. Sometimes we see people are being bullied at workplace or at a school. Now, who can translate the word bully for us? Do you know the meaning of bully in Dari? What is a bully? Who is a bully? Suraya Sultani, who is a bully? Do you know who is a bully? Who can define bully in Farzana? Yes, Farzana?
A bully is a person who acts like a like that role.
What happened? Bully is a person.
Did you have my voice, Mom?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it is echoing.
I don't know where the... I think someone's microphone
Okay, someone's microphone is on, that's why it's...
Teacher, I can read.
Just in a second, we are trying to find the meaning of bully. Do you know the meaning of bully, whoever's speaking?
I just...
Miss Imandi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Sadika, as always.
Okay, can you just mute everyone, please? Miss Amandi, could you please mute everyone, including myself?
I think there is an echo going on.
Okay, this is better. Now, thank you, Miss Imandi. When echo happens next time, could you please mute everyone, including myself? And the other thing is, I would request people don't to scribble on the screen, please. Miss Amandi, if you could clear the screen, if it is okay. With the tools, we can clear the screen.
Don't have that option. So,
Pardon? Okay.
Don't have that option of
if
cleaning.
if you go to annotate and you can
I don't
get
have that.
the,
I
okay,
don't have
I'm
that
doing it.
option.
No problem, no problem. It's E. E is the,
دخترا همین چی نکنین تصویر خط خطی نکنین که قلم میرین باز بیکار که ماندین پورا استاد چی میکنه پاک میکنه
okay.
لطفا روی سلاید چی نکنین
Okay, thank you, Miss Nazari, for your help. Mina, I invite you to read the role play conflicts, please. Thank you, Mina.
Thank you, ma'am. Role-play conflict. A student take on different roles in a classroom scenario. For example, the bullied, the bystander,
Yes,
the teacher, and explore how each feels.
that's right. Perfect reading, Mina. Thank you so much. Now,
Thanks, Mina.
Thank you. Now, role play conflicts is sort of an activity. We often do it at school. I'm sure you do it. You do it at in any schools in your country as well. That is, we have a few students. Someone acts like the bully. Bully is the person who uses his or her strength, or maybe physical strength, or psychologically, they make other people feel inferior. They can hit or hurt someone emotionally or physically, and they show that they're the boss, they're the stronger one. And sometimes when it happens, some kids or some people, they just stand there and watch. They do nothing. They don't say, hey, bully, stop it. You're being mean or cruel. I just saw that someone wrote in the chat that bullying is a use of force to do hurtful things to others. Okay? So when you see if it is happening, say Miss Nazari and Miss Paramita sitting there, and Miss Nazari is drinking coffee, and Miss Paramita just snatches the coffee from Miss Nazari and started drinking her coffee. She's a big bully, Miss Paramita is. Now, Miss Imandi can do certain things. Now, Miss Imandi can say, hey, Paramita, stop being a bully. Why are you snatching Miss Nazari's drink? Or Miss Imandi can stand there and do nothing. Okay, this is going on. What if I say something now? Miss Paramita can punch me or something. I'm just giving an example. Miss Imandi will never do that. She will never be a bystander. She is a person. She'll always stand up for what is right. I'm just giving you an example. So this is a role play conflicts we create so that people understand. Say, if I'm the bully this time, next time Miss Imandi can be the bully. So you swap roles to understand how people feel when they are being bullied. So they explore how each person feels. So this is an activity that also helps you to strengthen. Remember what we are talking about? We are talking about how to strengthen our neural connections in our brain. So once we do that, we practice deep breathing. Once we do role play conflicts, once we do perspective taking, then what happens? We feel relaxed, we reduce our anxiety, we reduce our stress, because we are working on the neuron connections in our brain, and that really helps. So like, what would you do? There is another question. Now, it says, discuss everyday ethical dilemmas from different perspectives, like sharing answers, friendship conflicts, family pressure. And you know what? When you think about these situations, every single human being will have certain pressures, certain challenges. So At those time when you have the challenges, you have to think, how am I going to address it? And when you take different perspectives, it gets things easier for you. When you have conflict situation, you would know how to handle those situations. Okay? Now, again, this is a repetition of what we just talked about. It is explore related, DEI related workplace scenarios, team conflicts from multiple viewpoints, because at home you can have conflicts. At home there can be siblings can argue on simple things like where are you going to sleep, or which room will be or which bed you're going to use, or which study table will be yours. That sort of conflicts can happen at home. But at workplace, this is more complicated. I'm sure you will meet bullies at workplace. You will meet people who cannot understand the perspective of others, and they keep arguing. So what are the strategies you're going to use to, resolve those issues? So again, at workplace these days, they have many activities so that people understand each other's perspective. Then label your emotions and others. Like this afternoon, I said many times, and this is the third time I'm saying, I had a very bad news. And what happens is when you have a bad news, or when you're sad or upset, say if I have a big argument with Miss Amandi this afternoon, so I will be very sad, right? But then, or Miss Amanda will be very sad. So what happens is you have to acknowledge, you have to recognize, the emotion. You can say that. How you're going to recognize? You will say, I'm feeling overwhelmed today. I'm feeling very sad. I'm feeling angry. You have to acknowledge, your emotion. Then it gets better. When you feel anxious, name the emotion. I'm feeling overwhelmed. When you see someone upset, you can say, okay, Miss Amandi, you look very frustrated. Did you have a good day, or did you have a good sleep? So identify your own emotion and try to recognize someone else's emotion who is there, maybe not in the right mood, maybe not in the right space. So that helps. And all these things, when you do that, it decreases your amygdala activity and increases right ventrolateral PFC activation. It is a big word, big scientific terminology. All it's saying that you will reduce your stress and anxiety. You will feel much, much better when you go out of your way to help others, when you identify your own emotion, when you label your own emotion. That decreases your amygdala activity. And I'm not saying it. Paramita is not saying it. Who's saying it? Research is saying it. There are plenty of research that establishes this idea that when you label your emotion, when you say it loudly, I am overwhelmed, I am anxious, I am stressed. When you say that loudly, immediately it decreases your amygdala activity and you will feel more positive. Okay? Now, kindness, we talked about it. Kindness, when you show kindness to others, it boosts your feelings of empathy and connection by increasing activity in the anterior cingulate cortex and insula. Last week, we talked about these two areas in your brain. Anterior, remember, we talked about what is anterior. Who remembers what is anterior? What is posterior? the difference between the two? Does anyone remember? Anterior?
In the chat.
Yes, please. Anterior.
Right in the chat.
Yeah, right in the chat. Anterior cingulate cortex and insula. Some people have even shared their research. So what happens when you practice inside, interior, outside, posterior? Close, but not exactly front and back. So Hela, well done. Anterior is the frontal and posterior is the back or rear, whatever you call it, posterior. Okay, anterior cingulate cortex and insula get activated when you, when you practice kindness. Okay? This is also like sit quietly, repeat silently, may I be safe, may I be happy, may I be healthy. You have to repeat these things, then extend it to others. May you be safe. May all beings be safe. When you wish well for others, okay? When it is not only me all the time, I want to be happy, I want to be safe, I want to be rich, I want to be famous. No. When you wish for others, I want others, everyone in our class today, I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be in a positive state of mind. I would like everyone to be positive and safe. So when you say those things, even whisper those things, you will immediately feel that you will feel better. This is also, girls, I'm not saying it. It says, the research saying this, that when you link to compassion and empathy, what happens is, immediately your brain areas will when you make social connection, first of all, your friends and your family members will appreciate that, but your well-being also, you will feel better about yourself. Okay, that is very, very important, girls, that you feel better about yourself. Okay, so this also based on research. So do good and kindness, share, practice kindness and compassion, and trust me, you will feel so much better. Okay, now the next slide, I'm going to ask someone to read. This is very, very important because these days, girls, I'm practicing this. I do not watch television anymore because TV doesn't give me much positive news these days. It's everywhere. It's destruction and sadness and killings. And so if I expose myself to this sort of media round the clock, what's going to happen is my positivity will be gone. I will be surrounding myself with negative thoughts. That is not going to help me. That is not going to help my family. So, hey, Leah, do you want to say something? Go for it.
May I read this slide, ma'am?
Yes, darling, go ahead.
Okay. Reduce exposure to fear-based media. How? Limit news and social media that stroke outrage or fear. Replace with uplifting stories or books that inspire empathy.
Beautiful reading, Sahela. Well done. Now, anyone in class would like to share some thoughts? Okay, I'll rephrase my question. Is there anyone in class who agree with this? Mahen, your hand is up.
Yes, ma'am.
Mahen?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. Do you agree what it said in this
Reduce,
slide?
explore the fear-based media, limit news and social media that stoke outrage or fear, replace the uplifting stories or books that inspire empathy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You read very well. Beautiful. Now, okay. So, do you agree, Nigarin? Do you have anything to add here, Nigarin?
Yes, ma'am. I agree with this slide that if we are means if we limit the news and social media, like whatever we see, that is not first of all true. All the news that is circulating in the social media or in the news, that cannot be true. Or well, what if but that is very much violence, or it has violence, or it has somehow you get disturbed, so we should avoid it. And it really does affect our mind and brain, and it has been with me multiple times. If I watch, I get fear, anxiety, and that's why I cannot sleep at the night. And it does affect my my well-being. I cannot sleep well. I cannot eat well. So that's why I really agree with this slide.
Nigarin, I can't thank you enough, but I have another question for you. At the in the bottom of this paragraph, it says replace with uplifting stories or books that inspire. So what does that mean? What is it saying
Yes,
actually?
ma'am. Of course, we can replace it. I mean, instead of using or scrolling the social media, we can read the beautiful stories or stories that inspire empathy, kindness, and this all brings some positive change in a person, and thus it can give relief, and it does affect our stress level, and it can decrease it because we can or go in the nature, or just have a walk, or just have a, as you said in the beginning, have a deep breath, and such practices can replace this stress and anxiety.
Absolutely, Nigarin.
Yeah.
Nigarin, my
I
last
would like
question.
to share, yes.
Yeah, of
Sorry to
course, of course.
interrupt.
No, no,
Yeah,
no. Go
I
ahead.
would like, yeah. Yeah, I would like to share my experience and how I uh, change my emotions to positivity. I bring my positive emotions out through yoga, through doing a lot of breathing, through doing lot of walking, and of course reading books or reading any article. It need not be reading an article in a book textbook or any book. I read the articles on the phone instead of watching a lot of the social media. But what gives me a lot of relaxation is breathing. A lot of
Breathing
relaxation.
helps. Thank
And
you,
I do a lot,
Smriti.
yeah, breathing literally helps. Thank you.
I would like Nigarin, if you're still around, I want you to translate the slide in Dari, please, or whoever can quickly translate. Two things here. Stop watching videos or television or fear-based media, that stoke outrage or fear or anxiety. Instead, what do? You read books, you read stories, positive stories that will inspire you. Okay, so two aspects on this slide. I would like it to be translated for everyone, please. Who's going to volunteer?
May I do?
Yes, please, Ms. Nizari. Over to you.
دخترها استاد میگه که از دیدن اخبار و خبرهایی که در سوشل میدیا پخش میشه و او خیلی آزاردهنده است، ترسناک است، از اونا کوشش کنیم که فاصله بگیریم، خودداری بکنیم و به جای از او به خواندن کتاب‌ها و چیزهایی که بیشتر ما و شما را یعنی الهام میبخشه و در حقیقت امو استرس ما را، ترس ما را یعنی کنترل میکنه و ای که ما را به مو حالت نمیبره، کوشش کنیم او چیزا را جایگزین بکنیم. اما رقمی که میسم ایماندی تجربه خود شریک کرد که من استرس خود یا ترس خود چه قسم کنترل میکنم. گفته که من نفسای عمیق میکشم، یوگا انجام میتونم مثلا و قدم میزنم زیاد و بعضی داستان ها را میخوانم که زیاد مثلا الهام بخش است برام، آرام بخش است. یعنی امی رقم چیزها را هر کس یک استراتژی خود داره. Just I translated the thing which you already told, and also I added the experience of Miss Emonde, how she controlled her anxiety and stress.
Great. Thank you,
I
Ms.
think over
Nazari.
here, yeah, I would also like to say, even Miss Nazari, how you experienced your, you should share your experience on doing the
Yes.
breathing and the yoga.
Yeah, sometimes we can do that.
Did you?
That's so good.
Yeah, she
Yes.
did it actually.
Yes, great. Ms. Nazari, do you mind read the English part of this research, what we have on the screen? Do you mind reading it, please, loudly? I'm so sorry, Ms. Mandi, we are running out of time. So, Ms. Nazari?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, it's the screen is a little bit blur, so I'm just trying to read. Okay, research.
Shoes et al. Shoes et al. 2014. Go ahead. Next, yours. No? Okay. Miss Nazari.
No, no, I think
we have lost her.
she has a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gulsum Singh said, yeah, go ahead, Nazari. No? Okay. So what it says is, I'll do it quickly because we have to do some presentation, which the research demonstrated that empathic concern decreases with repeated exposure to distressing media unless countered with positive emotional engagement. So if you watch too much of distressing media online or on the television, that is going to affect your well-being. It is so true. So please try not to immerse yourself in any sort of negative news, or because we can't really help. I know it just breaks our heart to hear something horrible is happening. We can't do anything to help the situation, only we make ourselves sick and tired. Now, this is also very important. What is next is mirror empathetic behavior. A mirror neuron system we have in our body, in our brain. What happens is, why is it important? Okay, just a second. Two people are waiting in the Fatima and Miss Nazari are waiting in the waiting room. Okay, so what happens is when you activate your mirror neuron system that supports empathetic, so you improve your social understanding. It's very, very important because everyone here, we are social animals, social beings. We are humans, we are here on this platform. We are connecting with each other. We are communicating with each other. We are collaborating with each other. So we are trying to understand one another. Okay? How are we doing? We are observing each other in the chat, what people are saying. We are smiling, we are responding, we are offering support to each other. Okay, see, I just saw someone give a thumbs up to another person. So this is a way of offering support. And when you do that, what happens? You feel better about yourself and you are sharing empathy, and that is what we will talk in more detail next time. why mirror empathetic behavior is important. Did it ever happen to you, like when you're in a class or when you're walking past some people, if they smile, you smile back and you feel better about it? I'm sure everyone has experienced something like that. So that is mirroring behavior, okay? It feels much better when you smile back or someone smiles back at you. So this is mirror kind behavior, okay? So that also helps. Now, this is again not what Paramita is saying. It is based on research. Lacavone et al. 2005 showed the mirror neuron system is activated both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else is doing it. Empathy can be learned through mimicry. Okay, there are quite a few tricky words. I would like you to research and find out the meaning in your language. Now, reflect daily with gratitude. Empathy journal. Miss Nazari helps us on this platform. So she's showing gratitude. We are showing gratitude to her because she's being very kind to us. She's translating, she's helping students. So, you can reflect what you're doing for others or what others are doing for you. It is a reflection this sort of reflection strengthens the neural networks associated with emotional regulations and pro-social behavior. So, when you're helping others, it helps you. Okay? So how? You can write 3 things you're grateful for. Can you write 3 things what you're grateful for in the chat? I can write 3 things I'm grateful for because Miss Amandi always cheers me up. Miss Imandi, no matter how busy she is, she will always respond and she will be there for me, for our students, for our class. Now, write 3 things that you are grateful for. I'm grateful to Miss Nazari, who's trying to help our students. So, can you think of 3 things that you're grateful for?
May I say mine, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead, Miss Nazari. Of course, you can write.
Actually,
You can
yeah.
write in the chat or you can say it loudly.
Yeah, I would like to say, so I'm grateful to having you and also my family who always support and give positive energy and also try to decrease my anxiety and stress level. And also I'm grateful to have a good health. So nowadays, yeah.
And that's so
So there are so
beautiful.
many things. So I am grateful to have them. So just I would like to mention 3 of them, which is so important for me. Thank you so much.
Oh, how beautiful, Miss Nazari. That is so beautiful. Because yesterday was Mother's Day. I don't know if you remember or if you have that sort of practice, because not every country that practices that. Even we didn't practice that. But nowadays, everywhere it's Mother's Day. And my mother's gone, she passed many years ago in 2011. So it's a long time. But I was
I'm
remembering
so
her.
sorry.
Yes, Miss Nazari. And
You
yes, go ahead.
yeah. Actually, in Afghanistan, we just a little bit mixed up because in Afghanistan, I just confused that so many people celebrating like Mother Days 2 times. So one of them is related to religious thing, I think, and one of them is internationally. But they celebrate 2 times per year.
Okay.
So yesterday, when I heard some pictures and some text, which the people saying that for their mother, so I just confused that we just celebrated few few minutes ago. How it's possible that it become? And then I realized, okay, so the people just celebrating 2 times. Some of them celebrating the day which is like related to religious part, and some people celebrating that day, which is internationally people celebrating. Yeah, but I think it's a good opportunity to deliver kindness and respect and just appreciate our mothers like efforts which she done for us. So
That's
I
right.
think it's a good moment for both. Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? Like mothers, the families, without their support, we cannot survive our days. You know, I was thinking, like, I learned to drive, and no one will go with me when I was learning to drive. And but my mother was so good. She would sit next to me and she would say, "Do this, do that, don't rush," you know. And that's how I learned how to drive when I was in my 19. I think I was 19 when I learned to drive. And without her encouragement, I couldn't have done that. And even with my studies, she was always there for myself, for my sister. And I can see so many people are writing, Nigarin also writing so beautifully. Um, Yes, I know. Thank you. I feel so honored, Nigarin. So many of you call us your mom, and I can't tell you, it's such a sweet thing. And then I took water the bird today. Oh, you gave the birds water. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Suraya. All these things, little things matter, you know. Yes, Farzana, you will start your presentation in a sec, and Miss Mandi is going to get ready. But last slide is this one. See, it has given you some information that when you do mindful breathing, remember when you're anxious, just stop everything and slowly breathe, and that helps, you know, reduces the activation of amygdala, and that excuse me, the perspective taking, how it affects your insula or MPFC. Excuse me. So just go through this. I have put this together and I have shared it in your WhatsApp group. So when you have little bit of time, just read and see. If you don't understand anything, next lesson, please bring what you don't understand, or you can just raise the question in our WhatsApp group and we will try to help and unpack it for you. Okay? Suraya, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mums here. Yes, thank you so much. Ileha Rizai, the things that I'm grateful for are having my family by my side and we are supporting each other. I'm grateful that I'm able to attend my online classes and there is so many nice people. Yes, wonderful people here. All my little efforts inspire me to move forward and I'm proud of myself. Well done, Ilaha. Ilaha. Kubra has written, my health, being able to breathe, walk, live each day is a blessing many take for granted. Absolutely, Kubra, how much we take for granted. My loved ones, having even one person who cares about you is something to be deeply thankful for. Couldn't agree more. Kubrajan, the chance to learn and grow every new day brings opportunities to become wiser, kinder, and stronger. Well said. Fatima has written, for having my family, my friends, my health, my positive energy. Brilliant. And then it is in, I cannot read it, Shakaria Jan. I'm sorry. Sultana has written, I'm thankful for the amazing people in my life who support and inspire me, especially my dear teachers, friends, and my lovely mother. Their presence brings joy and strength, brightening my days. I truly appreciate the opportunities I have had to learn and grow. Thank you for being an essential part of my journey and for promoting health and positive connections with others. How beautifully written. Well done, Sultana Atai. Mina has written, for me, there are lots of things that I'm grateful for. But if I choose three things, I can say that I'm grateful for my health, for my nice family, and for the chance to learn and grow every week with you, dearest teachers and friends. Oh, beautiful. One act of kindness I did today, I gave a smile to a girl who seemed too little upset, and she smiled back. Oh, how lovely it is. Thank you, Mina, for sharing it. You see, you got 3 love hearts and 1 thumbs up. Beautiful. Mursal has written Happy Mother's Day with some flowers. Gulsum has done the same, written Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Then Sultana Tai, thank you so much, dear teacher. Arzo, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. Sumaya has also written. Beautiful. Riksan, Arzo, thank you so much. Over to you, Miss Rajeshri. I'll stop here.
Imandi. Yeah.
Miss Imandi,
Thank
I'll
you.
stop here.
Yeah, thank you. I'll start with Soraya because she has her repeat presentation today. Because I have asked her to redo the slides, so I would like to start with her first, and then I would go to Tamana Hashimi. Okay, and
Thank you, Miss Imandi.
Farzana has given me. I didn't receive Farzana. Wait, just let me check.
Yes, Mom, I shared the chat.
I don't see it actually.
I will resend it. Can
Understanding
I please?
empathy, and it is yours is understanding empathy.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start with Soraya.
Sorry, Mom, for interrupting. Can I please be the next one after Suraya Jan? Because I have another class.
That's what I said. After Soraya, I'll go with you because I would like to have Soraya. I had asked her to redo her presentation, so I want her to speak first. Okay?
Teacher,
thank you for understanding.
please, teacher. Yeah, you can take the first my classmate because she said I have class.
Oh, that's so empathetic of you. Very understanding. Thank you so much. I will go with her then. Thank you.
Yeah. In the name of Allah, information about oxytocin. At the first
No, you are starting.
is sex. Yeah.
Suraya, are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah.
I thought you said Farzana.
Okay.
Tamana
Teacher.
Hashmi to do.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Tamana, you can carry on.
Hello, ma'am. I have present last week
Farzana,
about
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can continue, Farzana. This is your slide.
My slide.
We can't hear you. Farzana?
Yes, Mom, I'm here. This is not my presentation.
Understanding empathy is not Farzana Nizami?
Yes, empathy is my presentation. The slide showing in here is about oxytocin.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Is this okay? Can you see?
Yes, Mom.
Beautiful slides. Farzana, well done.
لطفاً مایکایتون رو میوت کنین کسایی که گپ نمیزنین چانس بتین دیگر رو گپ بزنن.
Shall I move on to the next slide?
Can I start?
Yes, you can.
Okay, in the name of Almighty God, I hope you're all feeling well and being healthy. I deeply appreciate having been given the opportunity to present my presentation today, and thank you for having me today. Well, my today's presentation is focusing on the term empathy and exactly on the understanding of the word empathy. My today's presentation will be divided into 4 different and various but relevant parts. The first slide is that what empathy exactly is. Then I will dive into why is empathy so critical. And after that, I will focus on the benefits of empathy. And lastly, I will focus on I will describe some real life instances in the last slide. So now let's dive into my first slide, which is about what exactly the term empathy is. Empathy, in simple words, we can say that it is the ability to understand and feel others. It is the skill of understanding others by ourselves. It is the skill of feeling others' pains, even silently and quietly, without saying a word. I personally think that empathy is a skill. It's not just an action. It's the skill of feeling others. We have three main types of empathy. The first one is cognitive empathy. It's dives into understanding other thoughts, what they think in their brain. Then, secondly, emotional empathy. It dives into the feeling of others, which I think that emotion empathy is the most important one. It is the skill of feeling others. And lastly, it's about compassionate empathy. Compassionate empathy, it's about assisting others, which is also really important type of empathy. Next slide, please. Reasons why empathy is important. Please, next slide. Can you please move on to the next slide? Yeah. Why is empathy critical? Empathy is critical for many various and different reasons, but now in here I will dive into and I will focus into three main reasons why empathy is vital for everyone and in everyone's life. The first one is that empathy builds trust. It's obvious that every empathic person has a more reliable and trustable personality in the society. A person being empathic is much more trustable than others. Then secondly, it improves communication. By being an empathic person, by listening to others, by understanding them, so surely our relationship, our friendship, all our relationships with that person will be enhanced, will be improved. So we can say that empathy can also improve communication. And lastly, it fosters cooperation. It enhances the encouragement to teamwork and collaboration. Now, about the next slide, benefits of empathy, please. Yeah, benefits of empathy. Empathy, no, the previous slide. Benefits of empathy. Empathy has many different benefits in the social life, furthermore in personal life. And firstly, let's focus on the benefits of empathy on social life. It has many benefits. Now let's have a look at some of them. It can make our relationships stronger. As I mentioned before, it can enhances our relationships. It can also resolve the conflicts between two people. And lastly, it can community bonding. It can increase the encouragement of collaboration and teamwork. And about the personal benefits of empathy, it has many benefits, but some of the most important ones are emotional health. A person being empathic with others is surely increasing their emotional health by being empathic. And then great self-awareness. By being empathic, you are increasing the self-awareness of yourself. And lastly, being empathic person and empathy can reduce our stress and anxiety. By listening to others, by understanding that today we resolve someone's problem, we listen to their problems, or maybe that in order to assist them change our vibe for the whole day. So it can reduce our stress anxiety too. And about the last slide, I will dive into some instances of anything empathy in the real life. Next slide. Yeah. Some instances of empathy in real life. Some examples of empathy in real life are recognizing emotions, feeling others, understanding their emotions. Then secondly, listening actively. I personally think that it is a skill. Listening actively can assist others in many ways, and it can be also a type of empathy. And actually offering support or assist to others. It is a prime example of empathy when you offer assisting or supporting to someone in need. It's a good example of empathy. That was all about my presentation today. I've been talking about 4 different but
Okay, that was
Did we lose her?
no, Farzana, she's still here, but I can't.
yeah, that was all about
Okay,
It was
okay. Nigarin has given a brilliant feedback. Okay, you haven't
feedback.
finished. Do you want to say a bit more? Farzana, continue if you want to say a bit more. Feel free
thank
to.
you. Thank you
Okay.
for
First of all, what I would like to say is, like your presentation is very well researched. I can see that. And Nigaran has also said that this is exactly what we would like to see. Everyone is giving some feedback. Now, talk about the research, and I'm very impressed to see that you talked about compassionate empathy, cognitive empathy, emotional empathy. They're all different types of empathy. What makes me really impressed to see that you did your research. Yes, Miss Mandi, right at the, yeah, here. Cognitive, emotional, and compassionate empathy. Compared to me, compassionate empathy is the most important one. When you like when you do some action, like one of the girls said, she smiled, or she gave some water to the birds, or she fed the animals, or she's to family members, being kind and empathetic to others. That is the compassionate empathy. And emotional empathy is feeling other people's emotion. That is also important. Cognitive empathy is to understand other people's what is going on. That is also important. Understanding the thoughts and others' empathy, recognizing it. That is cognitive empathy. So I am impressed the way you presented the template you use, the images you use, the text. Perfect. It's legible. We can read. And what Nigaran has said, something very, very important. You had so much of energy when you were sharing your presentation, and that is very important. If I'm just falling asleep, and if I'm doing my presentation, no one will be interested to listen to it. But we were all totally focused. And what do you think, Mrs. Mandi? Do you have something to say about her energy level when she was presenting?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to say that the points actually, while way she had written, she built up on those on the points. It was not written directly on the slide, which every point she built it up her expressions, and I think that made it more interesting. And everything was fantastic. Her energy level, the way she went with each point, why is empathy critical? This particular slide, I really liked it very much when she spoke how what builds trust and improves communication and fosters cooperation. And she explained every point very clearly. Only request would be a little slow. so that we catch up with you. I felt a little she was rushing through, but maybe she must be thinking it's already time. But I would definitely say the font and the slides and images, everything reflected her hard work.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Well done, Fazana. I have a wish. I have a wish. Next time when you present, Fazana, the research is brilliant, but you know, sometimes if you add some stories to unpack your research, that makes it more interesting. And so next time, keep that in mind. Have some stories. People love stories, okay? And you have somewhere to go. You have another class, so we wish you all the best, and see you next time on Friday.
Thank you so much, Mom. You all left me speechless. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for your nice words and encouragements. Okay, sure, I will keep that in mind for the next presentation.
Thank you, Fazana, and all the very best. Okay.
Thank you so much. Can I leave now?
Yes, of course, you can leave now.
Yeah.
And
I think we can now have Suraya Sultan. Suraya Sultana. Suraya Sultani, are you there?
Yes, Mom, I'm there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. In the name of Allah and by permission, your dear teacher, and I am very happy you take me a chance. And then our presentation is about oxytocin and all of the facts about oxytocin. Yeah, oxytocin is 6 facts about oxytocin is very, very important in our body. And the first is oxytocin. We can also can say the love hormone. And then why we can say the love hormone? Because when we happy oxytocin is releases in our body. It's also we can say oxytocin is love hormone. The second is produced by hypothalamus. Oxytocin is produced in hypothalamus in our body and secreted by pituitary gland. Yeah, it's also secreted by pituitary gland. Oxytocin promotes breastfeeding. It's very important. Promoted breastfeeding when mother and feeding the baby, and this time oxytocin is very important hormone releases in the milk. Yeah, and 5 is encourages bonding. It's very important. Oxytocin is about empathy, about behavior, and this hormone is also important in this situation. It stimulated uterus to contract. It's not important in our presentation about empathy, but oxytocin is very important this situation when the mother is in the labor and uterine is started by oxytocin, and when oxytocin is releases and contraction is start. When oxytocin is stop, that time the midwife or the doctor is decided to start injection oxytocin this mother. And the 7 is the social behavior and enhanced empathy. And also oxytocin is a very important hormone in empathy. And when the oxytocin is released normally, and that person is very good person, and it's that person have a good communicative with others. And you can change this.
I've done it.
Yeah. Oxytocin is often I done it. I take information all of day and take short information. This slide.
We lost her.
Do we have her here? No, you don't see her?
I don't see her.
Okay.
We lost her.
Okay, what is the next? I think she covered this one. What is the next slide? Okay, love and oxytocin. Mainly we are talking about oxytocin and empathy. And the final slide, let's see. I think she's done very well, but this is the slide. I think she's, no, Rana is back, but I don't see her. Here she's talking about genetic level, neural level, and behavior level. Oxytocin facilitates empathetic and self-embarrassment ratings by attenuating amygdala and anterior insular responses. Okay, she may present when she returns. Who's the last one? I think there's another one we are waiting
I think, no. We only have two.
Only had two. That's good. Thank you so much, everyone. We have to stop here. I think she's done very well. We need to talk in our